Everybody. So it's time for an update on the cheapest pair of road bike tires you can buy on Amazon. These are the Hikline 700 by 25C folding bike tires. And I paid a whopping $23.99 for the pair. So this was supposed to be a 100-mile update, but we've actually got about 120 miles on now. So this trip meter, I haven't reset it since I put the tires on. I reset it when I installed these tires and went for the first ride, and I haven't reset it since. This is kind of trying to keep track of mileage on the tires. So I can definitely say this. They're quite a bargain, for sure. No, they're not going to perform as well as high dollar tires, but I'm actually pretty impressed with how they're doing so far. So I've ran them at full PSI, or almost there, like 95 PSI, and I've also run them down a little bit lower. They're probably, I want to say they're probably closer to 75 or 85 PSI right now. And I can say that these tires are definitely firmer. They feel firmer. The bike does tend to rattle a bit more on rough roads and stuff like that. But once you can feel it on rougher roads in the handlebars and all that good stuff. So they are a good firm set of tires. No blowouts, no flats, nothing like that. Again, 120 miles now. Various road surfaces ranging from brand new asphalt to rough asphalt. Not super rough, but pretty rough. And they've impressed me. I've hit a few potholes, not intentionally, but I've hit a few potholes and haven't had any problems with the bike or the tires from that. So this is the rear tire, so that's the one you definitely want to pay attention to because it wears faster. So we got 120 miles on the set now, and if we look carefully, you can still sort of see, there we are, you got a little line in the center of the tread. We can still see that line there, and you can see maybe just a very slight amount of wear, hardly any wear at all. I'd say this is pretty normal. And the reason why I want to focus on this is because I was looking at the reviews. There aren't many reviews on the Hikline tires, but if you go over and look at the Mohiga tires, which are a little more expensive, but I guess they've been on Amazon a lot longer and more people have bought them. There's some good reviews and there's also some negative reviews talking about them wearing out at like 200 miles. And I'm sorry, but I have to call absolute bullcrap on that because these have 120 miles on them. I don't skid my tires or anything like that. I take care of them. I don't slide them. I don't skid them, nothing like that. So I guess that could explain it. So for example, if you have a fixed gear road bike, like a fixed gear bike with no brakes and you have to skid to stop, well, yeah, that's going to tear your tires up in a hurry. And I can only guess maybe those people that were leaving the reviews saying worn out after 200 miles with the threads showing. I mean, to me that seems like they were skidding their tires. I don't know. One of the persons left the review said that they go for serious bike rides. They say 50-mile rides, blah blah blah, worn out after 200 miles. My past 4 or 5 bike rides, matter of fact, most of the bike rides thus far with these tires have been 20 to 25 miles. Matter of fact, tonight I think I rode about 27 miles. Because last night when I looked at the trip, it was like 92, 93, and now it's what, almost 120. So, yeah, pretty good ride tonight. But yeah, the tires, they're definitely holding up really well. Now here's kind of a weird one. So I mentioned in my last video the initial ride It seemed like they were, I mean, of course, before they were breaking in or worn in, it seemed like they were holding me back. Well, I've topped the air pressure off in the set one time since I initially installed these. And I noticed after that top off in air pressure, this time at 95 psi, the tires again felt like they were slowing me down, which maybe I guess I could say is maybe due to being at such a high air pressure. I mean, these are rated for 100 psi. The Surface Sika tires that one here were rated for 130, but I usually ran them at 90 to 100. Maybe because they were so rock hard, the rolling resistance might have increased due to the road surface. I don't know for sure. Can't really tell you for sure on that. But when they're at like 85 psi, they ride smooth. They roll good for, I mean, considering what they are. They don't slow me down too much. Now, I'm going to say this. Years ago, I was very well conditioned because I was riding all the time. But last year, I didn't get started into my bike riding until September. This year, I started riding in, I want to say, earlier mid-July. Again, a late start, had a lot of things going on earlier this year. Also, we had the Canadian wildfire smoke, and that was not fun to ride in, so I didn't ride much when that mess was going on. But here it is, September 6th, and I've already ridden, I want to say, about 300 miles, close to that, something like that. So it's like I'm getting back into shape, more or less. So I'm not conditioned as well as I was back then. So it could also be the fact that, of course, I'm not super well conditioned right now, and I'm still getting back into the swing of things. But the tires, I mean, for being $12 a tire when you buy them as a set, that's the performance I've gotten out of them is definitely impressive for their price point for sure. Because there are a lot of other tires out there that are heavier, have thicker sidewalls, that cost, double when you think about it. Because, I mean, for example, the Kenda Quest 100 PSI tire, I think its price was $27, something like that. I can't remember for sure. I have to look back again. But it was up there a little bit. Close to, I think, what I paid for this set of tires. So, I mean, there you go. And I wasn't even sure if the Kenda tire was even a folding tire. These are folding. So they store easily, I'll say that. But yeah, overall, I'm pretty impressed. So this is the rear again. Get you another close look at it. I mean, for 120 miles, there's no real serious wear going on yet. I mean, the rear is obviously getting broke in. You can feel the surface, and it feels, it don't feel super smooth. It feels kind of coarse now because obviously the rubber is starting to get a little bit of wear on it. But let's go and look at the front. All right, so up here is the front, obviously. You can see, of course, as you would expect, you can definitely see that new line a little more. Of course, the front doesn't wear as fast. And most likely what will happen is once that rear does get some wear on it, probably once I get down to about 50 or 40, maybe 30% tread life, I don't know, I'll swap them around and put this front on the rear and put the rear up here. That's generally what I've done with road bike tires over the years. So to put in perspective, the Surface Sika tires, the first set I had, I got, I want to say 3,000 miles out of them, which is pretty impressive. The Michelin Dynamics I used to run, and they were 28C. I ran those on the Blue Denali, and I had carried them over to this bike initially. Usually I would get 2,000 miles out of them because they would wear faster. And I also had more punctures with them. So we'll see how these hold up. And if I remember right, one Michelin Dynamic 28C tire cost as much, if not more, than this set cost. So there you have it. Anyways, that is my 120 mile update on these tires, and I definitely can say if you're looking for a budget road bike tire, this is it. This is the one to get. If you're really not wanting to spend a lot of money on a bike tire, meaning you're really on a tight budget, you don't want to spend a bunch of money on a really fancy tire, you just need a tire that's somewhat decent, these will definitely do the trick. So anyways, hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.